Hello everyone, my name is Mohammad Abdullah Chima and I'm going to show you my recipes component of the web application I group made, which is called Activus. So in this is my front end code of the whole group. So in this front end code, this component called create recipe forum, it is for me. It sends a get request it is for creating the recipes by sending first of all, it send a get request to the user API and confirms that if the user registered, then if the user registered, then it sends a post request to the recipes API and the recipe is posted. Another component dashboard, it is mine, it renders the dashboard. Another component I've got here is recipe card. It is responsible for showing the information of the recipe on the recipe card. All the recipes are shown in the form of cards on my web page. So this is another container called recipe container 1, 2, and 3. These containers display different recipe card based on their classification. Some show first six recipes, some show some predefined recipes, and the third container it shows the custom made recipes by user. It is my parent component. This one recipes of the Abdullah.js. It got some functions. First of all, the first function is to fetch all the recipes from the recipes API when the page load and renders them accordingly into a different container. Then I got another function called which function this function this is to fetch the recipes from the API based on yeah it is used to fetch the recipes based on their what do you call it their ID. And then another function I got is a handle delete function. This function is to delete a recipe. It first confirms that if the password matches the password of the user in the database, then it deletes a recipe. So let me show you my front end code. So this is our main React app, which is called Activus. Actually, this is the main React app, and in this I got the recipes component. So let me show you. When I click on a recipe card, it shows a let me show the network console. It sends a get request and show the information here. And when I create a try a recipe, name HHH, description something, ingredients, email. I'll enter an email from the database user table because anyone cannot make a recipe. Only the registered users can make a recipe. When I put paste here, so submit recipe. The recipe is successfully created. First, just send a get request to post request to check verify email, get request to verify email, then it sends the option request due to cost config, and then the post request, then again a send request to fetch the updated recipe in this container. So if I enter another recipe and I enter an incorrect email, I mean the email which is not present in the database, then it will not post the recipe and it gives you an error. The request would be failed. So this is the post function, and if I try delete function and this for this email john dot doe for this email john dot doe, let me show you in my database. This email john dot doe, the password is at05. So if I put the password azert05 and try deleting the ID, I mean the recipe is successfully deleted. It confirms the password and then the delete it and then get request to update the table. So if I put all the recipes currently I've made with the same email, so you can make with any email, it works. So but if I enter incorrect password, the password is 05, but I'm deleting the 0 and press OK, so it says me incorrect password and the request will be failed. Delete request is failed because the password was not correct. So it again send a get request of this container. Let me show you my API. I got two API in the backend. One is a user A controller and the other is recipe controller API. This is the user A. This is the user A controller. So let me show you my Postman controller's responses. First of all, on API recipes, we are sending three operations: get, request, and post. So first of all, send we will send a get request to this, but for that we have to mention ID, because when you click recipes ID, it ID is fetched from the browser. So recipes, we have mentioned the ID and send get request. So this is the ID recipe 2 ingredient of let me show you this recipe in the database on the recipes table. So in this table, the ID with 2. So the ingredients are ingredient 1 and ingredient 2, which is shown here in the Postman. So get request, and if I enter and if I need to send a post request to post a recipe. So in here, so I told you that for posting a recipe you need to enter a correct email. So if I enter an incorrect email which is not present in the database user table and then send a post request, so not found because the email is not present. But if I enter the correct email, john.doe, which is present in my other table of our database, john.doe at example.com, and then send a post request, then the request will be, oh sorry, I was entering the incorrect API. I was putting a slash. So when we with the incorrect email, when you send a post request, the request will be failed because john.doe, this email is not present in the database. Let me show you, and the ID and the what do you call it, and the recipes will not be posted if I show you this ID in the database recipes table. Look in the recipes table, the and that I yes, so the post request is going because we are not first verification the user table, because but in the front end you have to it first verifies, because first in the function of my component it sends the verification request to the user table, then it sends the post request. So yeah, you can through API you can do this, but for from the front end you can't do this. So I showed you get request and post request. This data will appear in my backend database as well. This is the recipe I was creating from the Postman. So get you, and if I show you the delete request, so if I show you the delete request and there's an ID, there's a recipe in the ID with the ID 77. On front end it gets the ID by itself and the name is biryani. So if I postman and 77, I put the correct password, which is for this email. I mean, for this email the password is SETI in the database. The email here is john.barry, which is look, for the biryani email it is john.doe. John.doe, for john.doe the password is 8005. So if I send a delete request, recipe deleted successfully. But if I all the recipes currently are made with the same email, so if I correct put in incorrect password and then send the request incorrect password, because and the 77 will be deleted because that time the password will be correct but 78 won't be deleted. So you can see that the ID with 77 is now deleted. Let me refresh my table. Look, 77 is gone. So now let me show you the user API to check the verify the email before creating the password, creating the recipes. So this email is present in my database. If I send a get request to verify it, it present with a dot, not without dot. So email not found. But if I send dot and then send request, then email is verified. And let me show you that this is present in my database user table. So John dot dot present and John dot dot without dot, it's not present over there.